Coordinated, episode 296, October 2025, monthly action items. Greetings, AP coordinators. I'm Karli Suge, school counselor and AP coordinator.
And I'm Abby McCrate, also a school counselor and AP coordinator extraordinaire. I added that last part for flourish, but also Karli, trying to distinguish myself, I guess. But also, we coordinators are pretty extraordinary.
You know, it definitely feels that way this time of year. It's Monday, October 6th, 2025. The school year is in full swing. We are busy with our work at school, and the final ordering deadline for AP exams is a little over a month away.
Yeah, here we are being remarkable, managing not only what our main jobs require, but also the many tasks of an AP coordinator.
And one way we can make our lives a little easier this time of year is by preparing well in advance for the November 14th final ordering deadline. So let's talk today about getting prepared, getting organized, and getting coordinated.
Good morning, Karli.
Good morning, Abby. How are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I'm just, I'm feeling like it's early October and I have a lot of letters of recommendation to write for my seniors applying to college. Because I'm a counselor who works with seniors and I'm an AP coordinator, I feel like I have these two big November deadlines, right? Like November 1 for seniors applying early to college, so for their college letters of recommendation, and November 14th for AP registration and ordering. Is it the same for you?
Yes, at the school, that is the vibe, but I'm the sophomore counselor at my school, so I have 2 more years to be in the exact same boat as you. It gives me a little bit more time this month to focus on my AP order, but my other duties as assigned seem to be piling up like crazy right now too.
I hear that. Well, at least I'm happy to hear you understand the big push to November. I have a feeling our fellow coordinators understand that too. October is such a busy month for me, but it's also the time when I suppose I can still plan ahead and pace myself before those November deadlines roll around.
Yes, which is why I appreciate that the AP program suggests the preferred ordering deadline of October 3rd for us to communicate to students, families, and other school personnel. Today, I thought we could talk about that preferred ordering deadline and the things we're doing to prepare for the final ordering deadline in November.
Sure, that sounds good to me.
Great. Okay, so first question. Did you press your review and submit order button in AP registration and ordering?
Yes, I actually did. I did that last week. Felt great. What about you? Are your students enrolled in their class sections? Have you submitted your order? Where are you at?
Yeah, my students are enrolled in their class sections for the majority of them. I still have a few stragglers that I am chasing and tracking and trying to get them enrolled. And because of that, I'm waiting a little bit to hit that big yellow submit order button for the first time, but I will be there in probably the next week or so.
That makes sense. I appreciate that note about the stragglers. It reminds me of, so when I was a new coordinator, I would wait until the day before the final ordering deadline to submit my order. The day before, I was like, I cannot do this, right? Like I had it in my mind that I needed to have my order perfect before I press submit and AP registration and ordering. But now I just click submit early on. Like, I don't want everybody to think that I'm some super organized, like way ahead of deadlines person, because that would be false. But this is what I like about AP registration and ordering, right? I can click submit early on. So I've already done that. Majority of my students are in. Then I just remember to click the yellow button again to submit changes, right? And rest assured, there's no downside to pressing submit multiple times. It doesn't double submit students who had been ordered for previously. It automatically only submits to new changes. So you can just resubmit as you get those last few students to finally join their class sections, assuming most of our friends on the call are in that same position. I think it's also important for me to point out that there's no problem with removing students from the exam order either after you've clicked submit.
Mhm.
Cancellation fees don't apply until after the final ordering deadline.
Yeah, I think those are really helpful reminders. I think everyone gets nervous about clicking that button and submitting. But the earlier you submit, the more time you have to play around with it and make sure that it is completely accurate before that final ordering deadline. So, Abby, we both seem to be on the right track with the preferred ordering deadline to make sure that we won't be scrambling to submit our exam order right before the deadline, right? We don't do that anymore. I'd love to know what else are you doing with your exam order right now? Any other perks to submitting your order early?
Well, knowing that I have most of my students' exam orders submitted, my mind feels a little more clear. So then I can
Hmm.
turn my attention to collecting fees for those exams.
Yeah. Tell me a little more about that.
Yes. Well, hey, I'm going to first shout out the business office at Immaculate Heart High School because this is where they come in and help make my job as it pertains to collecting exam fees so easy.
Mm.
So essentially, I use the download student roster feature that's on that students page, a link on the students page in AP registration and ordering. I clean up that file. So I click download student roster. I get the file. I clean it up a little bit. I remove some columns that I don't need to pass along for billing purposes.
Mm.
And then I send it over to my wonderful colleagues in the business office who oversee, all things financial. And they take care of adding up the fees per student and then billing each student's family. So then I am like, that task is done for me.
Wow, that sounds like a great system. I know we always say recruit help with the exam fee collection process, and it sounds like you figured out a way to do that.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know what I'd do without help for that part of the job in
Hmm.
particular. Because, yeah, like I said, now that the spreadsheet is in the hands of the business office, then I can just turn my attention back to making sure I'm updating my roster and AP registration ordering, making sure I'm updating, the business office when the last of my students have joined their class sections, or if I have any students drop the AP class they're enrolled in. That's a
Hmm.
change I want to alert them to. It just all makes for a smoother, calmer month leading up to November 14th. But now, I know the fee collection process is not always that easy for everyone. I mean, all of the work our fellow coordinators do, no matter their process or steps involved, it is very appreciated. I know we're all working hard out there. What about you, Carly? Like, what are you doing right now that we've passed that October 3rd preferred ordering deadline?
Hmm. Well, speaking of fees, just really quickly, at my school, our students pay for their AP exams through the same system as school lunch. So it's an online system they use to pay for school lunches or any kind of sweatshirts or yearbooks, anything like that through our ASB office. And then I have to download that file and go through each of my students in AP registration and ordering one by one and cross reference.
Oh,
So
wow.
that takes me some time. So if you're listening out there and you're doing that, just know I'm with you. And that's a tough time. But besides hunting down my stragglers, of course, I'm making sure really right now that my AP students, parents, and even my AP teachers know who I am and where to find me. Basically, I want my students to feel comfortable asking me about anything before we get past the final ordering deadline where we could potentially incur fees. So if they have questions about their exam, about payment, all of those things, I want them to come one, come all to the counseling office. No, seriously, all of you, come to the counseling office to see me. You know who you are.
I actually that is making me think of I think last month we talked about this, right? Like we talked about making sure great reminder about making sure that students know who you are
Mhm.
because then they're more likely to get their questions answered and get issues resolved or get their tasks completed as they pertain to AP exams, AP registration ordering right away rather than waiting. So that's a really helpful thing to do so that you're prepared, I guess, for November
Hmm.
14th. So making sure that students know who we are. I like the reminder about that. I was also thinking that, I talked a lot about collecting fees, but I should remind everyone that we don't have to submit our payment to the College Board until AP exams have finished. Remember that postmark deadline is usually June 15th. But why I think fees come into play so much for me at this point in the year is because at my school, like, we want to collect them really early if we
Hmm.
can, just so that we've received all of the money by June, right? And we're not left covering unpaid fees, especially for seniors who graduate and they're like, oh, we're done, right? Like, we're gone.
Hmm.
So it's helpful for me right now to be turning my attention to fee collection. And also, I was thinking we probably have coordinators here with us that are at schools that don't have to collect exam fees, which is awesome. Some states and districts cover that expense. So thank you to those states and districts.
Right. That's a good point. But hey, it never hurts to plan ahead and allow ourselves extra time if possible. In fact, you might say that planning ahead is what allows us to always be calm, collected, and, you know, coordinated. Thank you, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's show. We look forward to continuing to share with you what we're working on each month.
Yes, I mean, this is a great way for us to stay on track and feel supported in our work as AP coordinators. I appreciate sharing ideas with you all.
Because, as we know, no one does it better. AP coordinators, we are truly good as gold.
And maybe I just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. I'm good as gold.
Hey, Abby, question for you.
Ooh, question. Ask away.
What is the one learning opportunity that 100% of AP coordinators enjoy attending because they can engage with their colleagues, ask questions, and feel safe and respected?
Well, so many AP coordinator training opportunities seem to fit that bill. But when I hear engage with colleagues in a safe and respectful environment, that sounds a lot to me like chat with a coordinator.
You're absolutely right. Chat with the Coordinator begins Friday, September 26th and runs through Friday, November 14th.
That's great news. AP coordinators join us every Friday via Zoom for free.
Free fun, free learning opportunities. Count me in.
That's right. Sessions are 1 hour in length, and you, AP coordinators, set the agenda. You can ask any questions you have or sharing best practices.
At 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a chat dedicated to brand new AP coordinators.
And at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a topic specific chat. Topics such as score reports, AP registration and ordering, and more will be covered during these chats.
Join one or stay for multiple. Sign up for every Friday if you'd like. The registration link is in the show notes. We look forward to seeing you.